But nah, those days are done. My vacation days are used up. But I get them back in June, so it's not like it's a long 500-year drag. I've done far worse. Back in the day when I had a lot of medical appointments pop up at once one year, my vacation days were gone. I get them in June, and they were literally gone by that fall. So I've done almost 8 or 9 months without taking a day off before, if not longer. So I will survive. I will be fine. But yeah, I've just went ahead and parked over here in the middle parking lot in front of HR because it's a shorter walk till you get to somewhere warm, which does have its advantages. Yeah, it's a longer walk to the actual workplace, but no, not even a few feet behind me is the lobby door. Also, yeah, the other parking lot is filled with cars to the brim, and it's cold, it's icy, the roads are a mess. My speedometer barely saw 40 miles an hour, which is one of the reasons why I did chime in a little late today. That's not because I was circling, it's because I literally got to the plant at like 20 after. That's why I leave early every morning, in case of weather like this. But it's not horrendously, but there is still stuff coming down, but at least you can see. But okay, today's message, until you hear it from the BBC. I really wish that some of these Nostradamuses, these sideshow freak prophets that are on YouTube, would be held accountable for all the bullshit that they peddle and call news. It used to be back in the days, journalists would be held accountable for the crap they would spew. Doesn't happen anymore, really, does it? I actually posted on 2 channels that popped up on my recommended. All I did was I wrote one post and I carbon copied it. The other one was the Nardi. I said, I'm just amazed by reading these comments and how many of you are actually accepting a story from the Sun. While you're at it, I got a couple other good newspapers you may want to check for sources, like the National Enquirer, the Weekly World News. And I said, but unfortunately, when I said, oh, that's right. You'll all just bitch about how, Bat Child is, what do you call it? That Bat Child has gone woke and that Elvis Presley has sold out to the modern audience. But well, the thing is, I could give 2 shits less about EastEnders. Look, I know it's a big deal over there. Come on, in America, we had shows that ran for decades like Genital Hospital and, As the Turd Burns and all that stuff. And it's like, the only soap operas I ever watched was when I was watching with my grandma. And, it gave her a little buzz for the day. And I think that was One Life to Live in Santa Barbara, the only one she watched. Yeah, if you believe the Sun, like I said, I got a couple bridges in New York I can sell you for dirt cheap. Or better yet, I'll sell you an entire, screw that 1 foot thing. I'll make you a Scottish lord. You can have your own castle. It's right there on the shores of Loch Ness. Sure, it's a fixer-upper, but that's literally what these guys are peddling. All they do is they peddle hate, hate, hate. I'm not kidding. I think I tried once to look at one of their channels, and I'm trying to find one positive video. Couldn't do it, because all they do is they sell. There's the old saying, sex sells, and then there's the other old saying, misery loves company. And that's what they're... Yeah, Shooty sat there right there on Graham Norton and blurted out they were going to be back to film the 3rd series. And this was not that long ago, remember? Because the Bean came back and said, oh, they cut that out. So he was obviously excited to do it. But here's my counterpoint. Okay? If Shooty quits, I don't think it's anything to do with the theater being his first passion. And you know what? I wouldn't blame him one small iota. Look at how the last few doctors have been treated by the fandom. This dark side of the fandom. These, things that run back under the fridge when the light comes on, like cockroaches. It just amazes me. And I posted up this thing. I shared it from Instagram on Facebook. Somebody actually walked up to Tennant to get an autograph, David Tennant, and said that you said, it basically said, I think Jodie Whittaker sucked. And then Tennant stopped, looked up, looked him dead in the face, and said, well, if you hate her, then you hate all of us. So you gotta love that about Tennant. He said, if you hate her, then you hate all of us. Because we're all, basically, in a sense, we're all putting ourselves out there. We're all portraying the same character. Now that took class. I got to give him that. And you wonder why Peter Capaldi how many times has he mentioned Doctor Who recently? None. And I don't blame him, because all those little, there was a certain chapter of the fandom, let's call them, teeny boppers, whatever, that were expecting to get their nice little tight butt to look good bending over the console, and they didn't get it. So they went crazy. He's too old. Oh, yeah, or it's always the writing now, because they're trying to, bail out. They're trying to backstep. It was the writing. Chibnall sucks. Yeah, Chip, same guy. They were bitching saying he had no TV writing experience. Duh. 5 minutes on Wikipedia will show you that, yes, he did. Moffat didn't. He did. But yeah, the Nardi and the gang are really, I'm not kidding, they hopped on that Sun article like, oh my gosh. Oh. Like, literally like sharks on blood in the water. It was like, and I'm like, guys, it's the Sun. Most people have the dignity to not even want to wipe their ass with the Sun. Okay? So, am I a hobo? Yes, I travel the world. Well, mainly back and forth to work, and I got some bad news for you. A lot of people have asked me, why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? I said, because I'm going to work. I'm not going to a fashion show. I'm not going to a film opening in Cannes. I am not going to walk down the way called if you saw me walk down the runway at Victoria's Secret, you know something's really wrong. I'm here to work. That's why I die laughing. All these people, some of these people come in here, bright white clothes, not a hair out of place. And I'm like, what area are you going to? Because if I wore a white shirt in here, it would be covered in blood by the end of the day. Between motor oil, grease, dirt. Oh. Yeah, and of course, the H-bomb. I'm not kidding. I wish some of these guys would just be held accountable for the shit they say. They're basing it, they can just, well, then again, we have entire news networks these days that say whatever they want without facts. Yeah, the main alarm we got to worry about at night is our beloved cat, Owie. Because I know on the weekends sometimes he gets me even. If he decides I'm going to be awake, then he'll just go in the bedroom and start headbutting me in the side. And he goes, ee! Or he stands on me and goes, ee! Until I wake up. Oh, I took the cap off. Yeah, it's right here next to me. It's just I got the heat going full blast in the car. So it does get rather warm in the car. I'll of course, put it back on when I start marching through the tundra to work. I'm like, hang on, let's see if, I don't know if you can see any of this. Let's take a look outside real quick. Actually, it's Freedom Can. Look at it. Now you can barely see it in the light there, but yeah, there's still stuff coming down. Check out that Winter Wonderland bullshit. It's like I rolled the window down so he didn't get no reflection. Well, the problem is it's not just the trolls reporting. No, now they're saying, well, the Beeb already vehemently denied any truth to the show being shelved. But now, since they haven't mentioned Shudigawa, some of the other report papers are saying Shudi's quitting. Because they didn't mention anything about Shudigawa. Yeah, remember when Jodie was quitting? Jodie was leaving the show after her first series. Jodie was leaving the show after her second series. And then when finally, she did leave after three seasons, that somebody, an Irish guy we all know and love, was, throwing his fists in the air like he was Nostradamus and predicted the future. So, like I said, until you hear it from the BBC, I don't care if the New York Times says it. I want to see a source. Because the only source I found, and Lady G found after digging, was a bunch of useless, I don't want to denigrate the name, a bunch of useless mental rejects with YouTube channels and The Sun. And that was it. That's the only sources saying this. But it's just sad to me we live in a world now where, even if a person is the most qualified actor, this is the person we want to go with, they're immediately go, well, they ain't white, are they? That means they're a DEI hire. I'm like, no, racism, I was really hoping was on its, last legs, locked away in some dark room on a ventilator with a beeper going, beep, beep, and just fading away. Ugh. But like I said, until you hear it from the BBC, it's a load of pucky. Yeah, the BBC's already denied that Doctor Who's been shelved, but since they mentioned did not mention Shudigawa in the press report, now it's, well, the show may be going on, but Shudi's quitting. It's like, what? Who told you this? I'm not kidding. Getting stuff out of Bad Wolf is like, trying to sneak a gold bar out of Fort Knox in your underwear. It's not, it's really... Shooty, he's, or the one that was going on about Shooty wearing skirts in public, and I'm like, dude, Shooty was raised in Scotland from the time he was like 2 or 3 years old. It's a kilt, you moron. You lived there, and you don't know this? It's like, ugh. I'm not kidding. Like, a guy like that, I want to drop him in a bar like in Glasgow during, and have him go on about guys wearing skirts. Yeah, let's see how long that night lasts. Ugh. I like that they wake up a couple days later, their head's still hurting, and it's like, whoa, no, that wasn't a hangover. That was a sledgehammer. the drunkards. Yeah, the critical, the practical drunkard. And his jolly merry band of, misfits. You got the Nardi and the critical drunkard, and I noticed the Fart Zone official channel is no longer there. I was like, stop, for sure that would pop up. I think it's going under a different name now, probably because he finally got hit by the BBC saying you ain't an official nothing. I ain't even bothered to search to see if the Cabot from Another Habit is still around, because I frankly don't give a damn. Like I said, we'll get the news from somewhere we should trust. All right? Exactly. If Shooty doesn't want to do another year, Shooty doesn't want to do another year. But remember, not that long ago, he sat down in front of Graham Norton and said, and he was all excited saying we're coming back to do a third series, and then they cut it later. Because that's when plans probably changed, because Disney was sitting there with their thumbs up their rear saying we're going to do the same thing we do with every other streaming series, like every other, network that has streaming shows. We're going to sit back and go, we'll get around to renewing it. Like, look at how long you've waited for Stranger Things. Look at how long you waited for the end of Cobra Kai, which I enjoyed immensely, by the way. I think they did a really good job on that. So once again, this is just a reminder. Until you hear it from the BBC, it's bullpucky. It's crap. It's horseshit. It's mule muffins. It's buffalo chips. It's something you can compost your soil with. It's nothing. And even if Disney drops the show, that doesn't mean the show is canceled. That just means it won't be on Disney Plus anymore. But Disney, every report we've had, Disney is excited about it. Especially given, the viewer rates and certain demographics, then those were the demographics they wanted. So, like I said, time will tell. The future will reveal itself one way or the other, okay? So be kind, be calm, be safe. Enjoy the rest of your day. Saturday, as far as I know, we will be here. So if any of you feel like getting really bored on a Saturday, you can sit here with me in the morning like we normally do. So take care, everyone. Have a great day.